Hey everyone, welcome back to a new Wizard101 test run video. I'm in a different area today that I haven't shown off yet on my videos, and this is the Nimbus hangar. So there's an entire area that is just called Nimbus. If you go over to the stream portal, you can see it right here. So this is Nimbus, and if we go inside, this is the Nimbus Citadel, which is where I wanted to show you guys a couple of new vendors that are in Empyrea Part 2, and they have some crafted gear and some other crafted stuff that I wanted to show off in this video because the crafted gear is actually pretty good. So I wanted to compare that. But yeah, this is the Nimbus Citadel. When I was first introduced to this area in the live stream with Tara, this place was crazy. I was like looking around, I was like, wow, these like little elevators going on like this. I didn't even notice this big lightning bolt fountain in the middle. Yeah, look at that. Is this like the Storm Sanctum? Compare. Compare my my robes to that. There you go. So yeah, this place is pretty neat. It goes all the way up there, and you actually do a lot of stuff in here. So, but this is the area that I want to show you guys where the crafted stuff is. So this NPC is not going to be in live realm. That's why it's called for test only, and he gives you the pure ether, which you're not going to be able to buy this from him for 1 gold. You're going to have to get it from some other place, maybe even transmute it. I'm guessing is where you're gonna have to get it, but maybe it'll drop from some enemy in part 2. I don't think I've gotten any. I only have 10 because I bought 10 earlier, but maybe it's gonna be dropped. Maybe you're gonna have to get it from just transmuting, but that is an NPC that's not going to be here in live realm. So let's go ahead and head over to this guy Ramar, who has all of the crafted gear for level 130. I'm not quite level 130, I'm level 129. I could get to 130 if I wanted to, but I'm just going to save it until they come out with the ending and get to 130 then. So this is the gear. This is what it looks like. I don't... Your hair kind of, you know, clips through it a little bit, so I don't know. Maybe they're going to fix that, but that is an issue right now with this gear. So here we go, 130 gear. Let's just look at the storm gear because I'm on my storm and I want to compare it to my current storm gear that I have. So if you compare... This is the Alfoy Charger Helm compared to the Cabalist hat. 5 level difference, and you can see the upgrades here. We got health upgrade, we got 1% power pip, same shadow pip, but instead of pierce, you're getting 9% accuracy. And I feel like this is kind of outweighed by the boots as well. So you're still going to get probably about the same accuracy as we used to have. Because I think the boots, we'll look at the boots after this, but instead of the pierce, you get accuracy 9%. You get a little bit more critical and 1% more damage. So pretty good upgrade. You're just gonna have to make sure that if you want pierce, you put on a pierce jewel or something because it is different than the Cabalist boots. So to craft this, you're gonna need the crackling Xanadu helm. I think this is just dropped. I didn't get one, but you can probably get it dropped from somewhere in part 2. Amethyst, 20 shot keys. So you're gonna need shot keys from this, and getting 20 of those, that could take a while. You're going to need a lot of silver chests and maybe even double reagents to get that easily. You need the new reagent, the pure ether. You need a ton of dust, ether dust, and a lot of ether ore. So to craft this is not easy, but you do get a little bit of upgrades for that. So the crafting requirements are actually pretty difficult, I would say, for this. And because 20 keys and like the ore. So if you're planning on crafting these, maybe start getting these reagents early because it's a little bit of a recipe there. So the other ones are pretty similar. I'm just going to go through them all if you want to look at the stats for you guys. If you want to compare to maybe your Cabal set to see how different it is. The fire one gives 30% damage, 144 crit. And yeah, there you go. So the robes are pretty bad. I am not even going to compare the robes because there's nothing to compare here. These are just the... I mean, it was the same for Cabalist. Like, the robes were not good. People didn't use the robes, but the boots people use. So here are the Alfoy Charger boots. And to compare these ones, we can look at the health, a little bit more health. You do get power pip on the Charger boots, but you don't get it on the Cabalist boots. So that's something to note. Same on the shadow pip, same on the resist. A little bit more on the critical and 1% more on the damage. You don't get any accuracy on these boots, but I feel like that's made up for with the hat. The only thing that you're really missing is going to be that 5% pierce. So keep that in mind. But it's basically like instead of the Pierce, you're getting 9% Power Pips this time. And honestly, Power Pips is probably more valuable than Pierce because on my Cabal set, I can't even get 100% on my Power Pips. So that's probably more useful. I feel like this is better. But yeah, that's an upgrade of the Cabalist gear right there for Storm. I'll go through all the other ones if you guys want to maybe pause the video and compare it to your current Cabalist stuff. But yeah, here's the boots for fire. 36% damage and 120 crit. So that is the new gear. Let's see the boots if you want to craft these. You need Crackling Xanadu boots. You need the same things, which is a lot of shot keys and a lot of ether, ore, and dust. I mean, it's going to be a process to craft these. But keep in mind that I don't even know if there is droppable gear in Empyrea Part 2 yet. I don't think I got anything that was better. The only 130 piece of gear that I got was this wand. And I think this wand is worse than the craftable gear anyway. So we can compare it. It's 63 crit and 17% damage because there are wands in here. Where's the ice wand? Yeah, so the wand that I got dropped was worse than this one. So keep that in mind. But yeah, here is the storm one. 80 crit and 20% damage. That's not bad. What if I compare that to the craftable one? Let's do this one. It's the same damage, 20%. We can compare this. Did I equip it? Hold on, maybe I have to back up. Let's redo it. Wait, did I? Yeah, I did. Let's check this. So 20% damage, that's the same. And this gives more crit, which are the main stats that you need. You don't really need that pip conversion. There's only one socket though. Ioni's Focus Sword gives 2 sockets for square. But I don't know. This is maybe a little bit better for crit. But this one doesn't give Pierce. So that's kind of the give or take of that one. But yeah, here are the wands that you can craft for 130. I wouldn't say they're the best things ever, but maybe some people can find use for it. I don't know. You also have to craft it the same recipe as the other ones. So it's not easy. Here are the things. These aren't anything special. I'm just going to go through those quick because there's nothing. But this is the interesting one. So in the game now, at level 130 from this guy, you can get craftable mastery amulets. And this is pretty cool. So for 50,000 gold and for this recipe, which also requires the shot keys and the dust and ore and all that stuff, you can craft masteries though. And that's pretty cool. They give different stats. This one gives 4% natural resist. It's pretty good. And then here's a storm one, myth. So all of these you can get. And it's pretty good. It's interesting that the balance one has universal resist, but the other ones don't. So yeah, craftable masteries. I wanted to make sure to mention that because I feel like that's pretty cool that you can do that. Only level 130 though, but it is something that you can do and you can get from this guy. Rings are nothing special, I don't think. They're a little bit more crit than my current ring, but less damage. I don't think it's worthwhile to go for that just for what, like 9 crit. Probably not worth it. It also doesn't have as many sockets as the other one, so I'm not going to be using that. No reason to craft it. But yeah, all this gear requires a lot of the shot keys and the ore. So keep that in mind if you're going to craft it. But that is what this guy has. There's also some other people that have some stuff. This guy just has the normal reagents. He actually doesn't even have that many reagents, only the perfect reagents. And then there's a guy over here that has some other stuff. I think this is housing. Oh, he's got this. Okay, cool. That's all he sells right now. He'll probably have something else later on. These are like the housing stuff, like the beds, bookshelf, and all of that. So yeah. And transmute platinum, transmute ether ore. Was there transmute pure ether? I don't even know if that was a thing. Maybe you can't transmute it yet. Maybe it's going to be dropped somewhere. So, okay, where we're sitting at right now, the final battle, or the final area of Empyrea Part 2, which is right here in the quest Extra Life, is completely blocked off. That's the spoiler wall. That's why I have this quest. That's why I'm only level 129. There's still a whole other area and probably a couple battles in there that's going to lead to the end of Empyrea Part 2. Like, that is the end of Empyrea Part 2 right there. So in all of that, I'm guessing that there's going to be some bosses that drop probably good stuff that we're going to need to craft, and that we are going to need for like our future gear. Maybe that's kind of what people were wondering, is basically, is there another secret tunnel? Are we getting another secret tunnel where we can farm for the best gear? And right now I'm not seeing that. Maybe the best gear is going to be from this final area. Maybe it's going to be like other worlds where the best gear is dropped from the last boss. Like in Polaris, you know, some of the best gear was dropped by the rat, and in Mirage at the time, some of the best gear was dropped by those bosses in the Sands of Time. So usually the final area, like the final couple of bosses, have the best gear, and maybe that's what they're going to do for this world. So we'll have to see on that one. But as of right now, the best 130 gear in the game is craftable, and that's before knowing what the final bosses, or boss, whatever it's going to be. It's probably going to be bosses if it's a whole area, let's be honest here, are going to drop. So that's what we know for right now, but it is pretty cool that we do have craftable gear. In Empyrea Part 1, there was craftable gear, but I crafted 0 things from that because there was better droppable gear. So it just makes sense for them to have droppable gear. And if you guys are looking at this craftable gear and you're like, oh, I need to start getting these reagents ready for me to craft this, I would maybe hold off, because if there's droppable gear, then that'll probably be easier to get than to craft these. Like all these reagents, it's a lot, and the droppable gear will probably be better than that. So I would hold off and wait on that, because we will just have to wait and see, because I don't know when they're going to release the final area. They will release it sometime during Test Run, and then people will be able to run through that and see if they can get drops, and we'll be able to find out, you know, exactly like what the gear is for Part 2. But there you go. So that's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys did enjoy it. Showed off the new Nimbus area, as well as the craftable gear and some of the other stuff you can craft. You can craft mastery amulets now, so that's pretty cool for level 130. But if you guys enjoyed this, make sure to leave a like on it, subscribe for more test run videos in the future. I'll see you guys next time.